Thank you. So we were talking about yesterday some elements of the dashboard. We spoke about charts and tables and conditional formatting. This is something we still need to cover. Some text, I'll tell you what I mean by text, and some KPI cards. So once you have this process, I think I had written one more thing which did not get saved only. We were talking about the process, remember? So we said first thing is understand the data,
properly.
right? And second thing I said was requirement
Requirement
gathering should be there.
gathering.
Then
Yeah.
we spoke about prototype, that has to be there. So the whole designing is done. Then we create once we already know what we want, then we're going to go ahead and create the summaries. And then we create the charts related to the summaries. And then we're going to create the control points. When I say control points, in this case, in this scenario, it's going to be slices. And once this is ready, then our dashboard is going to be ready, right? So let's do this thing. I'm going to work on this data, and then I'll give you another data set to work upon. And today we will do a little bit. And on Friday, since you don't have any class, probably you can spend time in doing that assignment in the class itself. So let's say I have got this date, region, sales rep, customer, product, price, unit, cost of goods sold, sales, and gross profit. Before I ask the question, let me just take you through one or two dashboard to look at so that you also know what exactly how to answer the questions I'm going to ask. One second, sorry. Why am I? Okay, dashboard. Hold on. I'm looking for a particular. Why am I a little lost today? Okay, let me show you from here. So for example, no, cancel. Open. So I just wanted to show you some examples of a dashboard so that when I'm asking you certain questions, you exactly know how to answer it. Okay. For example, yeah, this is what I was looking for. So for example, this is a dashboard, right? Like you can see over here, it's just charts, nothing else but just charts. But these charts in a dashboard can be static, as in that you have explored the data and this is your final understanding of the data and this is what you want to show to the end user. And sometimes we create charts in which we want some exploration that can take place by the user itself. So for example, over here, we have region-wise analysis, customer analysis, sales analysis, product analysis. And this analysis based on a date. It says July 09. So when I picked July 2009, it is giving me the previous 2 months, June and May, and the next 2 months, August and September. And if I change this reference, then I'm getting October and September, August and November, December around it. So by this, we are allowing the end user to be able to play or explore the data by himself or herself. So when I set control point using a slicer, this is what I meant. So when you start with the dashboard, you always need to have, okay, what is the main theme of my dashboard? What am I trying to make a person understand? So this dashboard that you're looking at, it is to able to understand the sales trend for region, customer, sales rep and product, but based on a timeline, right? So we are doing a time analysis, like a monthly analysis of our data. Similarly, this is a growth chart that is showing that, okay, in month to month, how the growth has been. And anytime we change any of the values over here, the charts changes. Clear? So every time, so you have to decide, okay, do I want to make a static where there is no control point, a person cannot change anything, this is the end product I want to show, or do I want to give certain control points to it? But all the time, there will be a certain value based on which we are doing this exploration. Without that, if you try to create something, most likely it will be a very mixed product where a person does not know what to do or how to do it. Another example could be something like this. Okay, this is also a dashboard, but this is not entirely Excel work. There's a VBA in the back end of it. So again, what we are doing, we are trying to see the ratings and the reviews. But the control point is what? Control point is your item. So as in when you click on a certain item, that review is changing, right? That particular row is getting highlighted, the review thing is changing. So this is also a dashboard. So every time you have to understand what is my theme. Over here, my theme is I want to do analysis based on the item. I want to highlight the rating and get the reviews of it. Is it clear?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So now, based on the data that I have, now you tell me, what do you want us to, like, let's try to follow the same process that we were saying that, okay, we'll understand the data. So this data is easy to understand. Now, next thing we want to do requirement gathering. So for requirement gathering, think about, okay, let's create a dashboard. What could be the theme of this dashboard? The main theme.
Region.
So you want to do regional analysis.
Year-wise sales.
So let's say we are doing regional analysis. Now, what all? So now once you've decided, okay, let's say I'm making for a CEO of the company, and obviously he will be interested in doing the regional analysis. Now think from the point of view of CEO, because we will get two type of clients. One set of client will have a very good idea what they want. Probably instead of you giving them the prototype, they will only give you a prototype that this is what we want. And there are second type of client who have a lot of data. They do not really have a concrete objective. And we as a person who knows data, who knows the tool, need to come up with their objectives as well by knowing the business well. So think about what all objective can be met with this data if I'm doing a regional analysis. I'll show you the data again. Think from a region point of view. And when you're doing a regional analysis, region cannot be a part of your question. Like you can't say which region has the highest sale. I'm not doing that. I'm saying, okay, if I'm picking a region called Southeast, what is going on in Southeast? I should get all necessary information of Southeast in my dashboard. So I'm slicing down, I'm drilling down in the data of a particular region. So think about what objectives could be interesting.
Like what are
region
the customers of that region,
First.
and the products which are more famous
Products.
and the sales
Which-
of those products.
Profit
Which
sales
region is-
and
Year-wise भी कर
representative.
सकते हैं.
Customer wise.
Okay, so you are saying we want to do a customer analysis. All right.
Year-wise.
Now, if let's say if we are talking about a business like Amazon and all, where they have a lot of customers. So do you want to do a customer analysis of all of them or few?
No, we can take the customer separate.
Yeah, we will take them separately, but do you want to do of all the customers or do you want to focus on few?
The one
Maybe
which
if
have
you
higher
are
sales.
performing well.
It should
Yeah.
be average.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Top
take
five
Not an
customers.
average. See, think from the business point of view. When you're doing a business, and let's say
Which-
one of my client is ITC, and every time I meet them, they've added new products. They're requiring more factories and making more and more manufacturing, more things. So when I create reports for them, or when I teach them how to create for them, do you think we will be focusing on all the 200 projects? Think
So
as
we
a
can-
business head, what will
we
you be
can-
focusing on?
We can
Which
see
gives
all-
more
Can-
profit, performing.
We can go as
Who
per
is
the
topping?
gross profit
Who is also
section.
topping? Also, we can see.
You will focus
And
on the
Top
top and
performer.
Yes.
And-
End of the product.
But like I
and
have,
How the
they can also look for the one who are not
Bottom
performing
also.
and to
Absolutely.
work on the way
Correct.
to improve.
correct,
top and
Ankita.
bottom.
So you are focusing on the top and bottom because in between is just going on. If I know what's working for me and I focus on that and I try to implement on others and I know what is not working for me, try to have a strategy to improve it. Or I want to say, okay, let's chuck it. These products are not working well for me. Let's just remove it from our production, right? I'm just talking, I'm taking example of ITC because all of us can easily relate to their, their products. So think like that. So dashboard should not be that, okay, I have got 200 data points. Let me put all the 200 data points. That looks clumsy. That looks bad. That looks cluttered. Nobody can focus on your anything in that particular chart. So if the data set is more, try to focus on, okay, let me look at the top. It may be top 5, top 10, depending on how big the data is, what the end user wants, and the bottom also. Okay, so we'll do this. What else? I
Year-wise.
think Prasad was talking about trend of sales.
Yes, trend of sales and year wise also.
So trend of sales is going to involve years in it.
Product analysis.
You want to do product analysis. Okay, so you want to understand in a particular region
product?
what
Yeah,
products are doing well.
Yes.
Okay,
Profit.
we can do it based on profit, or we can do it based on quantity, or we can do it based on sales. All right, what else?
We can do cost analysis also.
Cost analysis, it's not a bad idea, Tarun. However, in this case, I don't think so the cost is changing based on date or the customer. Hence, it will not give you any fruitful output. But what you said is absolutely correct. It is not a bad idea to do that. Okay. So they could be more objectives. We have come up with very typical ones, very easy ones. When we get into our more, powerful tools for doing dashboarding, there I'm going to force you to think a little more deeper on the objectives. Right now, Excel also does not have too much capability. Like for example, product analysis. Right now, I can do only one on profit. Then if I want to do on sales and quantity, I'm not unnecessarily increasing the size of my dashboard. So, but in case of Tableau, I can create parameters and I can, have a drop down for that also, and the user can analyze. So there's little limitation over here, but just let's start it with the 3, okay? Because this is the first time we're doing it. So let's just get started with these 3. So once my objectives are clear, sales rep analysis, honestly, I don't think so. CEO of a company would be interested in knowing about the sales rep. What do you think? You have to understand that what is going to be relevant to put together. It's not that if I have 20 variables, I will sit and analyze all 20. Not necessary. Remember yesterday we did this case that we did this thing that we said, okay, if this is the data and this is a stakeholder, what will you focus on? Same thing you have to keep in your mind, that who am I creating for? The stakeholder never can go away from your thoughts. So I don't think so as a CEO of the company. Yes, I'm doing a regional analysis. I'll be interested in all this, but I won't be interested in sales rep at all. Okay, so let's stick to these 3. What is the next step, guys? We've got our objective clear.
Create a prototype.
Prototype. Okay. 1 minute to create a prototype. All right, I'm just going to turn my video off because then I'm very bad at drawing on screens anyways. It becomes worse. So this is going to be my dashboard. This is going to be my title. And this is where I'm going to put a slicer of region. Okay, now we said we want to do a customer analysis top and bottom. Which type of chart would be more suitable? So there are going to be 2 different
Bar,
charts.
bar or
two
column.
different charts.
Bar or column?
Bar or column.
Bar.
Okay, so since they both are talking about the same thing, so we'll pick one and we'll also apply the same on the other. We are not going to shift it. So if I'm taking a bar chart over here, I would also prefer a bar chart over here. So let's say this is top customer, and this is my bottom customer based on sales. All right, trend analysis. Which type of chart? Line chart. Wonderful.
Line chart.
Kshitij is there today.
Yes, Ishani.
You've been very quiet. recently?
Actually, I'm having a little headache. That's why.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing. I'm hearing. No.
All right. So, and what about product analysis? What do you do here?
Pie.
Bar. What about pie
Bar
chart?
can be
Can I
over.
do a
Pie
pie chart
can
over
do.
here? Can I do a pie
I
chart?
think pie.
I think bar will be more suitable.
And Tarun, why?
Pie because it will show the total company profit from which product they are getting the most sort of profit from which product.
Yeah. So if you have a lot of products, see, your pie will look like this. Almost like you've seen these kind of pies, right? And these
Yeah.
pies don't have any meaning because you can't even read a single value. You can't understand the, one value against the other. So if the number of products are more, then we should always go for a, bar or a column chart. We can go for tree map again, depending on how many products we have. We have to see that end product doesn't look clumsy.
Fine.
So that prototype is ready. Okay, what else we can put over here? We can also put a date. We are going to put year also over here. And since this is taking year into account, this will be disconnected with this slicer and others will be connected. I'll tell you in detail what I mean. Is this prototype fine with everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we can have some icons, we can have a logo over here, all those decoration also we need to learn.
Coloring.
Right. So now next step,
Pivots.
Summary.
we have to create the summaries. So to get a top 10 customer based on sales, what do I need to drop where? Let me ask few people. I know some of you are talking more to me and some of you don't talk to me at all. So Dheeraj, would you like to take a lead on this? If you could help me to understand how will I find my top 10 customers
Top 10 customers.
based
Yes.
on sales?
Yes. So we will put customer in the row column,
Correct.
right? And then we have to right click on the customers.
Let's put the sales also and then click on the customer. Click on this drop down.
Okay. Yep. So
And
then yes, less
the value
it would-
filters.
the value filters, and it would be like less than
No, top 10.
You just
Will
need to
you
click
top 10.
top 10. Yes,
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
So we can have
Actually,
value filter and we can put top 10.
Yes, top 10. So
Correct.
it will filter out.
Right. Let's put top 5 items and we've got the top 10. Now, when we make a lot of pivots, and when we are trying to connect them, a lot of time I at least face difficulty that I don't remember what is pivot 2 and pivot 3 and pivot 4. I think it's very, poor to even try and remember that. So one more thing I'm going to ask you guys to do, you will go to once you've created your pivots, you're going to go to the options. And on the top, you can give a name to your pivot. So I'm going to go ahead and say top 5 customer. Okay. Second thing, if I create a chart out of it, right? And now somebody is reading it, do you think it's easier or we can make it better? Can I make this visualization better?
Let's highlight the
Can I
highest
ask you
value.
something?
Yes.
You rename the pivot by top 5 customer, but we are not able to see the title on this pivot.
No, it's not a title. I don't need a title. When we do connections, it's all the names on the back end that comes up.
Okay.
So we don't need the titles. Nobody's going to see this place also.
Okay. So that will be used when we will connect them.
In the connection part, it is required.
Okay, got it.
Right? Okay, how can I make this better so that it looks like a top 5?
You can do add labels.
Yeah.
No, something else. Visually better.
What about
Visually
highlighting
better.
the
Top
toughest,
five.
highest
So
value?
we can
You
put up
can change
stars.
the color.
Yes, I think Gunjan.
Color, remove
No,
icons
not
and background
colors.
lines.
One
We
second.
can put
Gunjan.
stars.
No. Gunjan, what did you say?
That color.
Just highlighting the highest value out
Yes.
of these.
highlighting the highest value. But before that, somebody said it. I don't remember.
Can
who
we
said
sort?
it.
Can
Yes,
we
Sitaram,
sort the
absolutely
value?
correct.
Descending order. Yeah.
Actually, I was looking for that output only. I was looking for that answer. I wanted to be sorted. And this is not, since it's a bar chart, to do smallest to largest. So you're saying top 5. Now you don't want the
Yes.
end user to, ballpark and say, oh, this is the first and this is the second. Doesn't work that way. If I'm saying top 5, let it be very clear to the end user, where is my top 5? Who's the first, second, third, fourth? So this is better. Correct? So I'm
Yes.
going to cut it.
Yes.
I'm going to move it and paste it right here. Okay, so this is one chart that got created. Now, instead of, going to the data, inserting again and again, what I typically do, I copy this
And paste.
and paste it. Correct. I'm going to copy and paste and make sure you give a little bit space around it so that show field list. So what do I want over here? Now I want the bottom one. So I can straight away go over here, go to value, go to top, and instead of top, pick bottom and done. Okay. And same thing, right click, pivot table options, going to name it bottom 5 customers. This is also done. Next, we had to pick what? Let's look at our.
You have to create a
now we have to create this line chart of sales and year. Okay,
What about the top bottom 5 customers chart?
we will create. I just wanted to make you emphasize on the fact that you should sort it. Okay. Prashant, you're there? No, Prashant, no. Pratibha. Pratibha, can you help me to create this year-wise sales summary? Prashant, Pratibha, either one. No, I think they might be typing. Anybody who has a mic that works better, actually. Vikas, Yash, Tanu. Yes, Vikas, help me out in making year-wise sales summary.
Okay, put date in a raw field.
I'll put date in the row field and
year-wise sales summary and sales in a value. So
right,
already.
but I need to change my grouping.
So
grouping first.
Get rid of
Year-wise.
months and quarters.
Year-wise, yes.
Right. Let's do months or let's do quarter and years, both.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So this is done, and then I can create a line chart from this also. And what is the last part I need? I need my
Product analysis profit.
Product analysis based on profit. Okay. So again, I can pick up this one. Copy
So
and
over
paste.
here, you are going to make a profit in percentage.
We can do that.
Okay.
It depends on. See if we can do that. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to put over here the product in the rows and the sales is there. And if you want to convert it into percentage, you know how to do it, right? Percentage of a column total or a grand total.
Yes.
And I forgot to name this one. So this was trend. And this is product analysis. Okay, let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay, so far so good. Everybody knows what I've done so far, right?
So
Right.
Shani, can't we use this gross profit somewhere?
Oh, sorry. No, we had to use it here only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Not
thinking about
somewhere. We had to use here. I forgot. Okay, so
It's
we've got
alright.
this then. All right. Now let's say we are going to create. Next step was create your charts. So again, insert. This was also a bar chart. So I'm creating a bar chart. This is now the bottom 5. So again, try to since it's a bottom 5, let's try to make sure that the bottom one is at the top. The least is at the top, right? I'm going to cut it and shift it next to it. Now, when you're putting these, when you're talking about the layouts and all, make sure the sizes, the color combinations, the spaces between them, we have to think about those things as well. We continue, and over here, we are going to create a line chart. So insert a line chart, right? Cut.
So Ishani, for the line chart, can we create another different chart instead of line one?
Trends are best shown on line chart. Which is the other chart you're thinking of?
We can see in recommendations, like what are the recommendations Excel is giving.
I don't like the recommendations. In the sense, when you look at the recommendations, I feel you stop thinking. That's why, Power BI also has one feature which I'm not going to tell you.
Shivani, one question.
Yes,
on the trend line, we have a different kind of trend lines, like the exponential, all those. Does it really work, or how impactful is it to have a different kind of trend lines, or is it just a normal we pick up and just put it as it is?
See, as far as my work goes, I've always used a linear one. I've never used an exponential. It's more when you get into too much of the statistical analysis, which I don't think so your team needs.
Yeah.
That's the time all these log and all the exponential things.
Because I don't see any difference. I don't see any difference.
There is a difference, but you have to have a statistical background to understand the differences over there. Okay, Neil, can you please mute yourself, please?
So Ishani, instead of creating a line chart, we can create a bar chart and show a trending over there.
No, see, when you search trends, it's like you want to see there was a fall or there was a drop. You're not trying to compare two things. So when you see a line, it's a continuous thing you're looking at, and then you're treating that as one single thing. When you create bars or when you create columns, you are treating each point as a singular point and you try to compare. Psychologically, I'm telling you, visually how a person interprets it. Okay. I know this might be difficult to digest what I'm saying. Like the PPT I was referring to yesterday, in our visualization world, we kind of follow a Gestalt principle. So in Gestalt's principle, if I, show you the PPT, it says, when you create if I put two dots, you will, and I ask you, what are you looking at? You will say two dots. But as soon as I put a line between two dots, you will not see the two dots anymore. You will say it's a line. Okay, so it's like how our brain looks and understands the things. So when you're saying, I want to see a trend of a certain thing, so a line is a much better representation than a bar chart. Okay, I know you're not accepting it very nicely. I will make you go through that PPT if I get time. So when I show you the pictures, you will see the brain works in a very different fashion. All right, bear with me. I will take you through it, don't worry. Okay, now this is done. Next step is clean up, give a proper design. So like I said, these buttons have no value. So I want to hide all the buttons.
Ishani, I have one question. So
yes,
since the products are less, can't we just use pie? Like it won't be that much messy.
We can see, if the pie looks fine, then we can definitely look at a pie or a donut. Sometimes I feel donut is little better in terms of representation. So yes, we can. It's not very messy. We can.
Yeah, something colorful.
Yes, nice and colorful. And then you can decide the design also from one of these if you want to go with a certain design. And whatever design you pick for one, try to pick the same design for all. So let's say I've picked this one and I'm going to pick this one. And on the same lines, this seems like a different design altogether. Is this matching up with what we have? All messy. I think it has the normal blue, original blue was only looking nice without the labels. And in this case also,
And grid as well.
this is the one which is matching the pattern, right? Next thing, do you think these legends are helping us?
No, they were saying total.
They're just saying total. So I can get rid of it. Where it makes sense to leave it, otherwise get rid of it. Over here, obviously I need it.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it.
Yes.
Ishani,
Yes.
can we line graph as a smooth line?
Say that again.
Can we change the line of a smooth line?
Like a smooth line. How?
Just click on the graph and these line can be changed as a smooth line.
And do what?
Want to remove the number on the line now.
No,
Yeah, I'm
not
going to get rid of the numbers on the line. I don't like it. So data labels I'm going to remove. But what do you mean by you don't want the dots, right?
just click on the chart.
Oh yeah, that's okay. You don't want the lines. You can go for the normal. You want this one?
No, there is a one option, smooth lines.
Talking about the grid lines.
Where? Oh, no.
Yes.
Govind, guide me where?
Click on the format data series.
Okay.
The first one option.
This one, right?
This one.
Yeah.
Click on the first one. First one option. Yeah. Down. Click on the down. Yeah.
Smoothen lines.
Oh, sorry.
Smoothen. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. So
I
this
think
line. Okay. Yes, we can. Why not? Okay, removing this part. Okay, now the titles, right? I'm just top 5. What is this? Customers. And we can go for and put for others also. Correct? How I can make this more better also if I put data labels over here. So the numbers are already there. So if the numbers are there, I can get rid of this axis. Now tell me which looks better, the top customer or the bottom one?
Yeah, the top.
Top one.
Top one. So think about, I'm not saying that every time the same treatment should be there, but you have to see from one chart to another chart, what makes more sense to look at, what gives a better understanding to the user and how I can reduce the clutter on my charts. Okay, now I'm not going to do more of designing. I'll focus more on the slicer part this time. So I have made it on one. I'm sure you can do it for others, all these treatments. Now let's get introduced to slicers. Now, what are slicers? Slicers are interactive filters. Okay, so instead of telling a person, go click on the drop down, pick one of the choices, click OK, which is very technical, we give a slicer to the end user and the person is clicking just like how you go on a website and you click and you don't need any tutorials for that. So similar interface we want to create. So how do you create a slicer? Slicers come from either your tables, like we converted our ranges into tables, so you can create slices on them, or you can create slices on pivots and pivots charts. So since this is a pivot chart, I can select over here, you can go to insert and you will see slices. So once I click on slicer, what is this showing me? It is showing me all the headers, all the fields that I had. And depending on what field you wanted to slice it or analyze it, you are going to pick that as a slicer. Right? So,
so it will come for any chart?
It will come for any chart. Yeah, absolutely.
So
any
we
chart.
need to select only one on a one time.
Any
right?
one. Absolutely. Okay. So we are going to pick region. And once we click OK, this region slicer has been created. Typically, I like to keep my slicers on the top, or I would like to keep them on the right side. That's my personal habit, but doesn't mean you have to follow exactly like that. But always understand that our eye movement is in a Z fashion, by the way. So when you're designing something, you have to understand whatever is most important should be on the top and then on the side and then at the bottom. So KPI, normally you will see the KPI cards, key performing indicator cards are always on the top. Or if you want to focus your attention that yes, there is interactivity on my slices and I want to put them on the top, then I do that. So typically that's my reason I put it on the left or the top. Now I can reduce this. And now let's see what's going on. If I click on Midwest, it changed. If I click on Northeast, it changed. What is the problem I'm facing?
Report corrections we have to do. Like corrections.
So right now what it is doing, it's working with only one. But do you want it to work with only one?
With all of them.
We have to work with
We
all
need
of them.
to work with all.
And we can't have region, 4 places, different slicer, then to find, if I click one region, I don't have to go to 3 other places to click region. So now what we do is we are going to right click. We go to something called report connections, and we click over here. Now you see this is a place I was talking to you about names. This is where I want the names. So now I know, okay, I want to attach it to trend, to the product, to the customers. And if I click OK, now let's see if I click on Southeast, all my charts change. North, all my charts change. Midwest, all my charts are changing. Clear?
Yes.
Ishani, can you
Sorry, Ishani, I didn't get this, the last
Report
part.
connection. So what happens when you create a slicer, the slicer in the beginning is only attached to one pivot and the associated charts with it. Okay. And from one summary, since we're getting only one chart, so essentially this slicer is only linked to one pivot and one chart. Now, if I wanted to do, exploration of my dashboard based on region, I would essentially want, if I select a particular region, I get multiple information around it. Like not only top, I want bottom also. So what we have to do, we have to connect the remaining pivots with this slicer. So by default, where you insert or from where you create, that is linked. We want to link others. So how do we do it? We select the slicer, right click, report connection, and check mark all the ones that you want. Okay, so the ones that you are marking are the ones which are getting linked to that. So now filtering effect will be there on all of them.
So basically, if the pivot is based on a single database, this function will help. But if there are multiple database and different pivots for those, it won't work.
Ideally, I would have said yes.
It will work if we have the same region filled in that data set as well.
So typically, slicers do not work on one slicer. You can't hire for multiple databases. He's correct. What Faisal said is actually correct. But
if we have the very same field, like
still it won't work. But it will
I am
work.
also saying the same.
We link in the way it will work.
You have to actually do a lot of legwork for it to get connected.
Okay.
It's not very simple. You get into
Yeah.
relationships, you get into one-to-many relationship, and you have to come into data models, and then it works. So there's a lot. So essentially, if I'm teaching this to you first time, my answer, what Faisal asked is, yes, it won't work. 2 different databases, one single slices cannot be used. But not saying that it is impossible. It is possible. We do a little bit of, manipulation in the data. We create another third database, and a lot of things are there. So what probably I can do is, for that part, Faisal, since that is little higher concept, probably once you do SQL, and since you will be working with me again, I can create a small video on how to do it and send it to you guys. But for now, if I discuss, I'll be, taking you to all different levels where you don't want to work right now. All right, Faisal. So I am remembering it. I will tell you how to do it. But for now, the answer is no, you can't.
Okay.
Ishani,
Yes.
I'm just not understanding that before report connection, what was the output, and after report connection, what is the changes, which I am not able to see. That's the problem.
So before report connection, since I created the slicer from top 5 customer, so when I clicked on any of the buttons, which chart moved? Only top 5. Right?
Yeah, only one.
Only top 5 is changing. Rest, nothing is changing. Now, once I introduce report connections, or when I check mark report connections over here, now you will see all the 4 which I have selected along with the top 5. Now they all start to interact.
Okay, so before connecting this, this slicer was working only for the top 5 customer.
Yes, and why? Because I created based on top 5 customer. What did
Okay,
I do? What did I do? I clicked this chart and then I said insert. Because you have to click something. That's why that's how it's going to get this list.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Otherwise, we won't get this list.
Okay, if we do not report connection, if we suppose we do not make report connection, then we need to make 4 slicer for all charts.
Absolutely, which is not practical because you're not
Yeah,
going to tell
this is
your
not
customer press not
Yeah.
here, not here, not here, not there, right? So it's not
Got
practical.
it. Now got it. Thanks.
Okay, great. Okay, next thing is why I want to introduce a timeline also. Now, what is this timeline? Timeline would be active if you have any field which has dates involved in it. If the dates is not there, then the timelines don't make sense. So once you click on timeline, why? Oh, sorry, my bad. Once you click on timeline, it is going to give you your date field and only date field which makes sense, and we click OK. Now, what is the benefit of timeline? Timeline, you can analyze your data based on year, based on quarter, based on months, based on days, whatever you pick. So let's say I have this year and quarter thing, but I would also like to analyze this data that if I pick a particular region and if I pick a particular year, what had happened in it. Now, does it make sense to connect this chart, which has all the years and all the quarters over here?
No.
It may or may not. If I only had plotted years, then definitely didn't make sense. But since now with the years, the quarters are there. So if I'm picking 1 year, I will be able to see the quarters nicely. Right? But if I had only plotted years, then this chart to be connected to this slicer was absolutely bad. Because if I pick 1 year, this will turn into 1 point. So does that chart makes any sense? Right now, what is going to happen? Again, report connections are important, right? So I'm going to attach all of them and click OK.
Oh, you can attach 2 slicers with in the same.
Yes, you can attach 2 slicers. I didn't even realize my video was off for such a long time now. So you can have 2 slicers. So what I've done over here is report connection, and I've attached all of them, right? So I can have 1 slicer controlling multiple charts, or I can have 1 slicer or 1 chart being controlled by multiple slicers. Both the scenarios are valid.
So if I do any changes in slicer, it will apply for all the charts.
Yes.
Right?
So if I click on 2006, now you see it makes sense to see this chart because the quarters are there. But imagine if I had created a summary like this, just to give you an idea of, you have to understand when the connection makes sense and when it doesn't. Now, does it make sense?
So then we can remove this slicer.
Yeah,
from
only
chart.
if the slicer is not there, then it makes sense to look at this. But if I pick one, doesn't make sense to have this chart only. Got it?
So Ishani, I
Hmm.
want to ask one thing. If we unclick this slicer for this total in which quarter is not there,
Then it
and
won't
which
affect. Absolutely. So in that case, if I had only years, I would make sure the trend is not connected to this slicer. So that if I click anywhere, all my charts should change, but not the trend.
Okay.
Got it?
Ishani, can this functionality be moved to PowerPoint?
No. No. That interactivity dies there in PowerPoint. I know we all wish, because that's where we do presentation, and this, that's the reason all the BI tools came into existence and became so important for us, because all these things we can do in our BI tools, not over here in Excel. And BI tools have a better presentation. You have a slideshow mode over there, so you can easily show your clients or your team members. Okay, I have around 10 minutes official, and I'll take another 5-10 minutes unofficial time from you guys, because unless you don't get your hands dirty, you have not learned anything. Okay, so let's pick the data set that we already have. We're going to create a very small dashboard, but I really want you guys to create something today before we end the class. And let's go to your data. Only one data I've given. I'm not given too many data sets to you till now. Churn modeling. I'll share this file also with you, the one that I worked on. Let's quickly create something on it. Okay, let me think. So let's say if we are trying to analyze geography wise the profile of the customer who are exiting the services. Does it make sense?
Exiting services. Okay.
Yeah, who are exiting. Okay, and I'm not worried about who are not, or I can do this thing. Hold on. Let's do this thing. Let's create a dashboard which works with the geography and exited. So I want to understand the profile of my customers who are exiting, and if I press 0, I am going to understand the profile of my customer who are not exiting. How's that? Makes sense, right? We get to see both the profiles.
Okay.
Okay, let me write it over here. Create a dashboard to understand the profile of the customer based on geography and exited 0, 1. Okay, save as. Not save as. So what all will you show on this? You guys have the data with you. What all will you show on this data?
We can use this in pivot.
No, pivot and all you will do. First, those things are easy things. Don't think about tool first. Think about what I want to do. Like if I'm saying a customer profile, what are the variables? What are the headers would you like to show? Like what would you like
Geography,
to show?
geography.
Geography you can't
Geography
include, right?
slice,
Because the
yeah.
main slicer is geography and exited. So geography cannot be a part of it anymore.
Exited.
So you can see, just to give you an idea, think about, you can give a
Tenure.
proportion of male and females.
Tenure.
You can talk about tenure, but would you do tenure 1, 2, 3, 4?
No.
No.
You'll do in groups, 1 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Similarly, if I want to do my age analysis, I'll do it in groups. Correct? You can talk about credit scores.
Yes.
Or you can do what is the average credit score of the person who is exiting, or you can just talk about in general. If I pick France, kind of analysis of how many people are in different credit score groups also. So this data set, you will have to do a lot of grouping, except for gender, tenure, age, and credit score. In all of them, you have to do grouping. Got it? Or you can have number of products also you can work with, how many, or have how many cards, how many number of products, what is the estimated salary, what's the average salary. So that could be kind of a KPI card. So leave that for now, since I'm not taught it. But we could have done, okay, a person, let's say in France, who is exited, what is the average salary? Or, and if I pick, exited, and then I can get that output. So for now, let's quickly create for me a summary of gender wise count. I want a count of gender. Correct. Second, I want a age group wise the count. Since I'm interested in the profile of a customer, I'll be working more with the count. Okay, so I want gender wise, what will be the summary, what chart you think is the best fit, and I was age wise, but age should be grouped. How will you create a summary, and what is the best fit chart for it? Quickly, just 2 of them, and then we can improve on it later.
Age wise, okay.
Ishani, could you repeat it one again?
Could I repeat which one, Shikha?
The second one, age and
age wise analysis, right? And in both the cases, count of customers. Both the cases. Analysis on count of customer. In age, take groups of 5. Remember, whatever are your control points, like geography, exited, those things do not come into your summary. They will never be in your summaries. So when I created my summaries, you should have noticed that I did not put either the region or the date one place I put, but the region was not there in any of the summary. Please mute yourself, guys. Everybody wants to look at the leaderboard. Even my daughter keeps doing that. Are we done with the charts, guys? Please say yes. Because we're working with pivots.
Yes, yes.
So fast and easy.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So gender in the row, gender in the value. This is done. Right.
done it.
Similarly, for the age.
Age and gender डाल दिया.
And people have done with this, then you start making your charts, please. So
Charts
this is
be-
done. Charts be done. Then put your slices. Put your
Slices.
slices.
I kept slices, but you have to check.
Yes.
You've created the slicer?
I created it, but just
But
look at once.
I also created it. Ishani.
Yes.
okay. This is done. And then chart. Which one did you pick for this one?
Bar.
Bar chart.
Bar.
Male,
I have-
female. Two
I have
things.
the pie chart because there's
Pie chart
Uh,
is
pie
better.
chart.
I have that. I can see.
Pie chart is better, right? Two things to display. It's so easy and nice to look at in a pie chart.
कर दिया.
Right? And like I think I said it yesterday to you guys. I teach so many batches, sometimes I forget who I said. But like over here, male and female could have a color. See, colors make a lot of impact.
Yes.
Yes.
Colors
One
make a
thing.
lot of impact. Like today in the morning, I was looking at the work of one of my students who he has published on LinkedIn also. But one color he has used for 3 different companies, 4 different companies on all the slides. So one time it's something, second time the color is something, which is absolutely no. Very bad practice. So colors make a lot of impact, which people don't understand. So please take colors very seriously. And which type of chart did we go for this one?
Histograms.
Histograms are working.
But
Line.
there is ranges, so that's
That is fine, but normal column chart histogram looks same. I'm going to use my traditional line chart, column chart, and place it. So far, so good. Everyone done this till this step. Anyone who's not done till this step?
Now slice.
Guys, anyone who has not done till this part?
I have not done.
Okay, you need any help from my side?
I'm just doing. I'm creating.
Sure.
Even I am doing.
Sure, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I was just asking in case you need my help, please free to tell me that I need help and please look at my screen, help me out. But I would want everyone to finish this exercise today, because then if I have to give you some assignment, then if you're not confident about this one, you will not be able to do that.
Can you go to the question page where
Sure.
you
Group of 5.
Group of 5. Age typically makes sense when you do group of 5. You will agree 20 and 30-year-old is going to behave very differently, but 20 to 25 similar behavior, 25 to 30 similar behavior. After 40, everything down the downhill. Then there's no excitement in life.
Was doing grouping, but I'm not able to see the greater than and more than 20.
So what I had done when I was doing grouping, I don't know if you noticed it, since I wanted a proper grouping, I don't want 18 and a group of 5. So I grouped from 20 to 95. I made it even, my start and end. So anything which is less than 20 automatically becomes less than 20.
Took it to fault.
So I did not work with the default one because then it makes very odd. It makes 18 to 23. I don't want 18 to 23. Right? And if you want to make this more meaningful, because less than 20 for a bank might not look very nice. So we can go ahead and change this part. We can make it 18 to 20. We can just type in and change it. But if you give it to pivot to do it, then it makes the 18 to 23, which is a little odd. We could have made this 21 also.
I'm done.
Done. Everyone done. Sanjeev, what about you?
Yes, Shani, done.
Done. Yash.
Done.
Tanu. Vikar.
Yes, Shani, done.
Some of you have become so silent. Like Lalit has become very silent. Kshitij, I know you're not feeling well. Karan.
2 minutes, Ishani, 2 minutes.
Sure.
Shani,
Deepika?
just help me out.
Sure. I am going to stop sharing. Tell me what you want the help.
Yeah, this no, I just wanted to see. Just making the table, that age, grouping age. What have you taken for the value?
I've taken from 20 to 95, a group of 5.
No, that I've done it. What the value? I mean the calculation. How would you
put any
count it?
text. Put any text since you want to count, right? Put any text.
Okay.
I don't even remember what I took, but I took some text value only. I put geography in there.
Okay.
I just want to count.
I have written count of customer only in this.
Yeah, that's okay. Customer ID is a number. I think it's a number, so be careful.
So
You have to have a count, not a sum. Be careful with that.
I have done for count only.
Yeah. Okay, if you're done till this part, add on your slices, please. We wanted a slicer of
Slicer of geography.
and exhibit. So you can pick both of them
Right.
together. You don't have to do one by one. Okay, pick both of them together and then place it correctly somewhere.
Okay.
You can reduce this length.
Mhm.
We can format our slices also in terms of design, but we'll do designing later. We'll just focus on technical part today and we can finish this off, right? Once this is done, what's the next step?
Report connection.
Connection of both.
Correct. So report connection, naming also I missed in hurry. So you should name also. And I'm going to put report connections on both of them. and then see. Is it
Can you repeat
working?
this, please? Sorry, can you repeat this?
Which one? Report connection.
Uh-huh.
So right click, report
second.
connection,
Okay.
and select.
Select. Okay.
Okay. So we can see, if I want to see what is the profile of exited. So more females have exited than males, and highest exiting age group is between 45 to 50, 44 to 50. So that is the age group we need to control. And this is overall. But if I look at France, pretty much it gives me the same output. For Germany, we see there's a more shift towards 45 to 50 years old. And in Spain, it's almost same as the journal output. So journal output is females are exiting more than the males. And the age group that we should be worried about is 40 to 50. That is our worry area, except for in Germany, it's about 45 to 50 that we need to focus on. So whatever the bank needs to do in order to reduce the churn rate, they will have to apply. Similarly, if I just wanted to know without exiting or non-exiting, what is the profile of the customers in each geography, this is also, then you can remove the filtering from here and just analyze. Got it?
Yep.
Ishani, could you please repeat that when you report filter for both the
Before connection
slices?
pay, we need to add for both the slicers here.
You need to do it for both the slices individually. So right click on the first slicer, report connection, connect with both, right? Then you go to the second one, right click, report connection, and again do it for both.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Where can I see this exited field?
Exited is 0. Oh, sorry, 1. So if I click on 1, all the data that I'm looking at is for exited customers.
No, while adding the slicer, how can I add the slicer?
Oh, slicer. It's just when you selected one chart and when you click on insert and the slicer, all these field names come over here, right?
I don't see. Oh, exited, the last one.
Yeah, last one. So I picked both of them together, geography and exited.
Okay. Okay.
Shani, could you please one more time show me how you were giving the name to the pivot chart?
Sure. And I want to give also. So this is my one of the pivot chart. Right click, pivot table options. And over here, we can say gender analysis. Right? Spelling mistakes. And then I can right click over here, pivot options. And over here, we can give age analysis.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Shani,
Yeah.
Okay, done.
So anybody who
Shani,
is done, then you can leave. I know it's already up more than 3 o'clock. So if we are done, you can leave. Anybody who is still stuck with it, I would want you to clear the doubts. Yes,
yeah,
you want to
I'm
share the
stuck.
screen?
No, I just want to. I'm stuck on this age grouping thing.
What about it? What happened?
See, I had grouped it. You said that we need to group it
by
20
5.
By 5, yeah, that I've done. And
From
what is
20.
starting at 20?
20, yeah.
Okay, I think I've done that, but
so what are you getting?
Just a minute. I'll just do that again. Okay.
So Ishani, I'm done with that. But I have a question like Thursday, tomorrow we have no class, but we have assessment, right?
Correct.
So
Thursday's
the assessment time would be like 2 or it would be like 3?
Eklavya, do we have that time?
It should be 2 only.
2 o'clock.